Hi, this is Sarah McLellan in New York with Pixels and Pills. We're at BDI's Social Communication and Health Roundtables and Case Studies. I'm with Tom Cherniak from Comply. Now, Tom, tell me a little bit about Comply as a company and also your background.
We've built a framework and a standard around social media compliance, so for regulatory needs as well as for openness and transparency for businesses, making it clear what types of relationship exist, any kinds of disclosures or fine print that go along with their materials, and allowing them to easily embed that not only within websites but also in Facebook and Twitter specifically, where you have just a limited number of characters.
So with your company, you mentioned that you've been sort of watching the pharma space for the last couple of years, and where we've come from, people sort of being tentative to do anything within social media. Now people are becoming more active and not so much waiting on the FDA to make their regulations. How have you seen that change, and what does Comply offer to help these people?
We've seen some very drastic changes, and actually early on in the Comply process, we addressed FTC concerns in late 2009. We publicly announced, and a few weeks later, we were actually mentioned at the FDA hearings, and we were very hopeful that conversations would go quickly and that we'd soon be having a lot of conversations about pharma. We find that here, almost 2 years later, we're still having conversations, but we're very hopeful, and we really actually plan to roll out some specific pharma recommendations and solutions beginning this fall. So really showing sort of best practices, all the things that we've learned from working on FTC guidance, on solutions for not only FTC but also SEC and FINRA and for financial services. And our product has developed a lot, so we've actually been able to make dynamic disclosures and include a lot more information and tracking and reporting than we had originally. So.
Is there any sort of advice that you can offer companies within the pharma space on how to regulate and how to sort of make sure that they are acting within compliance? And, if there's a way for people who haven't heard of you before to get in touch with you and sort of incorporate your practice within what they're doing in social media?
Yeah, we should be doing a lot more publicly beginning this fall, in particular on the pharma side. The website itself is complycmp.ly, and we will be releasing a series of best practice guides. One of our first will be around contest and promotion rules that we've been doing a lot on the consumer product side, but we plan to release a draft of what we will refer to as a best practices guide for pharma marketing, and that's going to be a living document. We hope to release it in September, and then what we plan to do is make that open to the community, allow people to weigh in on it, and we plan to keep that as a living document so that it as the space evolves, which it does quickly, we can grow and adapt and really all learn from each other, because I think that we've come to a crossroads where people need to start taking mitigated risks, and what we've learned from doing work in in other spaces is that being open and transparent, there are some regulatory guidelines that you absolutely have to follow, but there's a lot of just openness and transparency and general best practices that apply to all of these things. And and when you're dealing with consumers, our role is to make it simple for businesses to comply with regulatory and other needs, simple for their employees or their influencers to make those relationships clear, and then to make it easy for consumers to understand what's going on, because ultimately if they don't understand, we haven't served our purpose.
Right,
So.
exactly. Well, just one more time for everybody watching on the internet, your website so they can get in touch with you is?
It's www.cmp.ly, and lots more to come this fall.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us. This is Sarah McLellan with Pixels and Pills in New York City.